This is a training for CNS Homes, and you have already pulled the MSA data, the MailStat app data from Podio and converted it into an Excel sheet and then cleaned up the Excel sheet. You've listened and watched the introduction to KPI and understanding what the KPI sheet looks like and what it's supposed to do. Now you're going to begin filling in the data. Facebook leads, these are the number of leads that came in from Facebook. And then you have the bandit signs. We've got a dash next to it because it's not relevant at the time of this recording. However, it will be relevant in the future, and how each of these cells is filled in, you will follow the same procedure. So what you will do is you'll open up the MSA sheet. In the previous training, the MSA MailStat data was from July. For this training, we're using May. It really doesn't make any difference because the procedure to download this data is the same no matter the month. For this training, we're doing the month of May, even though we had previously done the month of July for the MSA data drop. All right, so what we do is we have our campaign codes right here. These codes in column B, deleting column A is redundant. These codes now that are in column A are the ones that will tell us what the different units are. So in row A we have units mailed. Okay, so we have 247 units mailed for this code right here. So I'm gonna highlight this. There's many ways to highlight this code to figure out how many 247 came from. Again, I'm in the MailStat apps. I had 247 units mailed from code ending in 7180. I need to find out what that code is. So I open up the marketing codes, highlight the sheet, do a find, paste my code in there, and I can see that this code 58 is Vacants, Colorado Springs. So then I have to come back to my MSA sheet and enter a new row. And I know that this is now vacant, Colorado Springs. Okay. I have 3470 in this code right here. I need to identify that code. I copy and paste it. Again, several different ways to do that. You can just highlight this cell and copy and paste that one. Come over to the marketing code sheet. So it lists the code, and then it lists the name of the mailing that was there. I do my find, copy and paste, and I can see that that was absentee Colorado Springs. Okay, if I want to do this, copy and paste that, and then come back to my MailStats, paste that. I'm going to go ahead and redo all these right now, and I'll be right back in my video. Okay, so I've gone back through, and every row that has a lead count, a call count, or a units mailed data now has a list. Here's the campaign code. Now it has the name of the list. So I bounced back and forth, and I took the code, and I did a find under the marketing code sheet right here, which has the codes and the list names together combined, and then filled it in here. All right, so that's step one. It's the most tedious step, and it is helpful to have two monitor screens to do that. So driver 10 had 2 calls, 1 lead. This actually, my mistake is driver 1. That's a typo. Same thing, 2 calls, 1 lead. All right. We had referrals from Colorado Springs. We had 1 call, 1 lead. Okay, now we've got an undefined character here. 141 calls, 45 leads, undefined. This may happen occasionally. You'll see the same thing here. Indeed, you'll see it repeated throughout the sheet. This is the same data and should not be counted multiple times. It should only be counted 1 time. So in order to make sure it's getting counted once, we'll take the first one and we'll write other here. Okay. Actually, I guess by rights, we should write other here under the list name. So now it's being counted. And then every other one, every other row, whoops, is going to get deleted. Okay. Control D, Control D, Control D. Here's another one right there. There's a couple technical reasons why this error occurs that I am not going to go into now. However, it is being fixed. Alright, so it's all done. We've got them all out. All the 141, 45s. You will see that pattern when you do it for either month, any month. You'll see something like that. That's how you handle that. I would recommend saving your data. All right. Vacants. We sent out 247 letters for the vacants. We had $219 was the cost. Okay. We had no calls, no leads. That's terrible. Absentee, we mailed out 3,470 letters. It cost us $3,000, no calls, no leads. Terrible. All right. So farming, Craigslist, we farmed 4. We had 8 calls come in, so that was probably from previous month, 7 leads. The website, we had 9 calls, 4 leads. A call is anybody who calls us. A lead is anybody who calls us and does not want to be removed from the list. Abandoned Pueblo, we mailed out 76 letters. We had $67 in expenses. We had 5 calls, no leads. That means some people deleted out. Vacant Pueblo, this is a pretty good one to look at here. Absentee Pueblo, we mailed out 1,486 letters. We spent $1,300, well, $1,322.54. We had 41 calls, 6 leads. Okay. And then doesn't look like we had any appointments. We had 35 opt-outs from that list. All right. Now the vacant Pueblo list, we mailed out 407 letters. It cost us $362, 23 calls, 3 leads. So that's the idea. That's how we have our data. So now we come back over to our KPI sheet. And the first one is Bandit. The Bandit's doesn't have a code right yet. Facebook leads. All right, so let's see what the Facebook leads are. So we come over here. And we look, here's Facebook for Colorado Springs. We had 2 leads. Remember, we're measuring leads. So having said that, we can actually delete this column. All right. Looks like we have a reduplication here as well with the numbers. So abandoned Pueblo, we've got 76, 76, 67, -1, -1. So we're going to fix that. It's a redundancy. Delete. We have redundancies here. We can delete them. Keep the first one, right, because it does count. Keep that first one. All right, so Facebook, we had 20 leads, right? Yep, we had 20 leads. And then we should have a Facebook Colorado Springs. We had 2, so that's a total of 22. So right here, we had leads 22. All right. HBN's not used right now. Letters. How many leads did we have from letters that were mailed in? So you need to have a calculator handy. Remember, we're measuring this row right here for leads. For letters. The driver is not a letter. Okay, vacant's a letter. Pull up our handy dandy calculator. So we had 0 on that. On probate, we had 126. Let's see, 50. Chris's List, Pueblo, we had 50. Absentee, we had 6. Vacants, we had 3. And 185 letters. We had 185 leads from letters. So how many leads came in for letters? 185. How many leads did we get from AdWords? We got 0 because we don't have data for it on the codes. So one of these codes is Google AdWords, and there's no, all the data's lists have been created. You see, we've defined the list for the code for everything that had data, like leads. So if we don't see Google AdWords in here, then we know it was 0. So we go to the KPI, we enter 0. Okay, how many referrals? That'll X out like that. Now we did have data for referrals. Let's see, we had one for referrals in Colorado Springs. And then we had some down here, I thought. Okay, I was mistaken. All right, so we had 1 referral. That there. Skips. There was no data over there for skip trace. Back on the MSA, on the mail stat for May. Website, we did have some. Looks like we had 4 leads on the website. And then the other, that's where we put that one undefined field that we left up top. That was 45. See, it's other. If you remember, we did that. So that's 45. So put up 45 there. All right, so we have all the leads for the monthly leads. Now we're going to do the costs. How much did Facebook cost us? So we log on to Facebook. Okay, we're logged on to Facebook. You'll know you'll be on the right page. It'll say Colin McCormack. It has a headshot of me with my first name. Come over here to the icon, and you have to go down to Business Manager for CNS Homes, which is the company. Let Business Manager open up, and then you're going to come over here to CNS Homes, the Business Manager, and then you have to switch accounts once you're in here. And so right now we're in the account for CNS Homes, and we're going to switch up here. Up here is the account, and we switch to Colin McCormack, this account. And he's going to pull up all the activity for the Facebook ads. You want to get your time period correct. So we're going to open up the calendar, and you can choose last month, this month. We're going to do a custom month because we are measuring for the month of May. So there's May 1st to May 31st, 2016. We update it. It's going to pull our data. We can verify that this is our date range, which is what we're working. And then right here is amount spent, $39.74. Okay, so we come back over here to our KPI sheet. How much spent? $39.74. This doesn't work. We're not doing HBN right now. Letters. How much did we spend on mailing all our letters? So what we do is we'll go back to our MailStat app. We have to look at campaign cost. We pull our calculator out, okay, and then we zero everything out. Then we added up 219. Ugh. $219 plus 3,088 plus $40. Okay, this is another duplication. Delete that. Typically, everything with the price in here is going to be letters. Oh, I'm sorry, here's the total, I forgot. So you just pull the 5,100. That's the easy way to do it. So KPI, under letters cost, $5,100. All right, Google AdWords. Let's take a look at that. So we go online. We go to our Google AdWords account, log in. You need to set the date. We're going to do a custom date. We're going to do the month of May. So May 1st. And then we'll finish up in May 31st. So we have May 1st to May 31st. We're going to apply this filter. Okay. Cost right here, where the cost is, it's defined as Our cost was $746. $746. Referrals, there's no cost in there yet. Skip trace, we didn't. Web is basically what we spend each month. That's $59. Other, let's just double check to make sure there was an expense associated with that other. So here's the other category, and there's no expense associated with that, which probably means it's wrapped up in one of the other expenses. All right. So we've completed that section. We're going to save. And then we're going to do Facebook engagements and add word clicks. Okay. So we come back to our website. So we look at clicks. How many people actually clicked on our ad during this time period, right? We're in May. So our clicks are 71. Engagements. Facebook engagements are the same as Facebook results. Remember, we back up to our ad manager. We have the same dates. Results are the number of actions as a result of your ad. For some reason, it's not totaling up these sums. So what we'll do is you total up these numbers under results, 5, 7, 46, 189, and you come up with your total. I'll pause the video and do that right now. All right, the total for the result is 2,358. That's all within these results here. Okay, so we go back to our sheet. And we put right in here, engagements is the same as results. They used to call it engagements. They changed their title. Is 358. All right, so that's going to wrap up our training on the monthly lead and activity. The next training will be the monthly farming activity. All right, so let's save this here and pause our video. And we'll come back and do monthly farming activity.